Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, they took their teenage daughter offline.
I was an e-girl. I said a lot of sexual stuff for attention.
But that didn't stop the nude selfies and...
You walked in on her having virtual sex with a boyfriend at 16.
Now, will they lose their daughter?
He loves me.
But he hasn't met you.
To an older boy she met online.
We did track him down, and he's agreed to talk to me.
No matter what you guys say, I'm moving out. I have my bags packed.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. The controversy over online video gaming chat sites have made the news recently when a 17-year-old girl was allegedly killed by a 20-year-old man she met online. Well, the teen victim was known for her online status as an e-girl, electronic girlfriend. Now, they are sometimes known to post provocative pictures to elicit more male responses. Now, my guest today, Cheryl and her husband, Danny, say their 17-year-old daughter, Becky, is a self-proclaimed e-girl who also frequents video game chat sites and posts risque pictures. They also say their daughter has fallen in love with a 21-year-old stranger online who she has never met in person, yet has agreed to move across the country to be with him just as soon as she turns 18 in just 4 weeks.
My daughter, Becky, doesn't see the issue of talking to older guys online.
Becky was talking with guys that were 18, 19, 24, and I was not okay with that.
Her social media name was something like Daddy's Little Girl XXX. She acted like a 4-year-old and was role-playing with guys who had fetishes.
Becky is addicted to online games.
She doesn't see the issue of talking to older guys online or sending and posting nude photos of herself. He doesn't respect
Doesn't have
you.
the kind of respect for you that he should have.
I think that's bullcrap.
As of now, Becky has not met this online boyfriend in person, and I hope she never does.
In a month, Becky says she's moving cross country to be with this guy.
You think you know somebody, but you really don't know them until you've spent a lot of time with them.
No matter what you guys say, I'm moving out. I have my bags packed.
Becky's boyfriend has zero respect for me and my wife or our rules.
We are at our wits' end.
Well, Cheryl's mom, Loretta, says it's all her daughter's fault for allowing her granddaughter to misbehave.
If I was in Cheryl's shoes, Becky would not be doing all of this. And she might not have met her online boyfriend. Cheryl should have slapped the shit out of Becky when she found Becky was posting naked photos online.
Loretta's whole thing is that we didn't spank them enough or smack them for misbehaving. That's not our parenting style.
And you see where it got you. I believe 99% of Becky's problems are because of my daughter. You're not her friend, you're her mother. You are the boss, and she's not.
I don't think I tried to be her friend. I tried to talk to her and put her in timeout.
I don't believe in timeout.
But even from
a good smack. My main concern is Becky wants to move across the country and live with some guy she doesn't know. Who knows what her boyfriend's done? You don't know what he has in store for you. You want to be a whore?
No.
Well, that's what you're gonna be. On the news, you see these kinds of guys locking girls up for years. It's disgusting. Too many perverts out there, too many nuts. You go back there, he gives you some drugs. You're gonna go out there and sell your ass for drugs.
Why would I even take drugs in the first
Who knows, he might accidentally give them to you and not know. She needs someone else to help her straighten up other than her mom, dad, or me. I want Dr. Phil to make Becky see the light and show her that she doesn't know or need this guy. Cheryl wants to see the rainbow at the end of all of this, but there's a tornado coming.
Okay, so how concerned are you? Is this just that there's an unknown here, or do you have reason to be concerned, specific reason to be concerned? What do you know about him, if anything?
Specific reasons, I mean, in talking back and forth with her, he's controlling, he's insecure, he doesn't want her to go out with friends or go on family vacation. And he gets mad at her for changing her mind. She decides to go to a school event, and he gets mad. Well, you said you weren't going. But then, you know, she went, we made her go, and she had a good time, and he's mad because she lied to him.
I definitely get a bad vibe from him. I think he's extremely controlling and argumentative, has absolutely no respect for our rules. And I mean,
have you spoken to him?
I have spoken to him.
Yes, and I've spoken with him and texted back and forth, and I mean, he pretty much says your rules are ridiculous. And Becky can go to sleep whenever she wants to go to sleep. And
we don't need to follow your rules because they're just stupid.
Okay. Have you talked to him?
I talked to him about a year and a half ago. It's just snowballed. I'm mad as hell. I think it's their fault for the new technology that they let them just play.
You know, when we see there was an issue, we put in parental
Okay, so when did you see there was an issue? When was the first time you realized she's doing things on the internet she shouldn't be doing?
Probably about
12 or so, 11, 12 years old.
So 4 or 5 years.
Is when things kind of started. They kept snowballing. It's gotten worse over time.
Okay, so you've been in this for 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
This has been a battle going on, and you have lost.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
That's why we're here. We need your help and resource because we're not
Well, you know, I was here 4 years ago.
Right, but
I was here 5 years ago.
it's become
That's why they're blinded. They're blinded.
But no, let me tell you why I'm saying
so
that. I'm saying that because there are a lot of other people watching, and I don't want people letting things get off in the ditch before they say, hey, give me some help here.
We've got it to where we even just shut the internet off. She's took the phones away. No phone at all. She hasn't had a phone that we provided for over a year.
Apparently, she has had access to the internet.
They find other ways
through the
that we didn't really know about. Most of it.
She
was doing things at school, and we couldn't stop that. We tried.
And you know what the problem is? Let me defend you guys for a second here, because God knows you need it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have the wisdom. All three of you have the wisdom that she needs to have.
Yes.
But she has the knowledge that you don't have. She knows how to navigate the internet.
Right.
She knows how to get on with this device, defeat this, defeat that. She has the technical know-how to run circles around you.
She does.
So you walked in on her having virtual sex with a boyfriend at 16.
Yes. And
There's a shocker.
Oh, yeah?
You'd never even heard of such a thing.
No. We gave her a streaming device so she could watch Netflix and YouTube, and they find these the website or the...
They can use them to do so much more.
Now, you took her computer away, right?
Yes.
Physically took it out of the house. It was stored at Grandma's garage.
But then you gave it back.
Because she was failing in her grades, and, well, I can't do my homework unless I have my own computer, which I know...
I was on board with it, but I let her talk me into it.
I'm a softie.
How serious is your concern here?
Very serious. I mean,
Extremely.
high level.
So what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to stop this?
Whatever it takes to get my daughter help to.
I mean, is that right? I mean, are you willing to do whatever it takes?
We're here.
We are.
here.
I mean, we've really come to the realization that, you know, this is our very last chance.
That's why we're here.
All right. Cheryl and Danny say they gave their daughter a contract to help curb her behavior, and she had the nerve to amend the document so it fits her needs. It seems to me like we got the tail wagging the dog here. We're going to talk about this when we meet Becky, and that's going to be right after the break.
I met my online boyfriend through Discord. We started online dating just a couple months after we met. I video chatted with my boyfriend, so I do know what he looks like. I don't know definitely that he's 21, but he doesn't have any reason to lie to me.
Tomorrow.
My name is Hattie. I'm 83 years old.
She's having sex with an average of 3 different partners a week. Do you enjoy sex?
Enjoy is a rather mild word. Every age, you decide what you love.
I love sex.
You like younger guys. Well, I'm too old for you, right?
Plus, X on the Beach's Kaplan twins.
Our mom, as our manager, just gets on our nerves. How can you help us deal with this?
That's tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, and an open marriage.
He absolutely suggested it.
You say she suggested it.
It was her idea.
There aren't versions of the truth.
That's Wednesday.
Looking back, there were definitely some early warning signs with Becky. When she was 12, there was an incident with a boy where he forced himself upon her. When Becky was 13, she became over-sexualized. She was attracted to anyone that would pay attention to her.
In junior high, she had gotten into trouble, and we took her phone away. That's when my husband found her provocative messages and photos on her social media accounts.
She had nude selfies on there. Becky thought there was nothing wrong with her behavior.
Cheryl says ever since her daughter Becky got into online video game chat sites, she has kind of turned boy crazy. But Becky says she just relates better to older men, and her parents just need to calm down. Take a look.
I'm a gamer. I went online and I started meeting people. I tend to gravitate towards older men. I was an e-girl. I just sent nudes, mostly topless photos, had phone sex, and said a lot of sexual stuff over text in exchange for attention. And in one case, the person would buy me video games. I met a lot of them on Discord gaming chat rooms. Mostly guys were from the US, a couple from Canada, and I also talked to one guy from Germany. I met my online boyfriend through Discord. We started online dating just a couple months after we met. I video chatted with my boyfriend, so I do know what he looks like. I don't know definitely that he's 21, but he doesn't have any reason to lie to me. I feel like my parents are too overprotective. They feel like he's gonna hurt me or take advantage of me just because he's older. One time my mom walked in on me and my boyfriend having virtual sex. She screamed at my dad to turn off the internet. I don't really care what my parents think. I'm moving out on my 18th birthday and going out of state to be with him. I know I love him, and that's not changing. So they're just gonna have to deal with it.
Okay, now she's going to join us in just a minute, but I'm holding her back because I got a couple of questions for you before. Why do you think she's been so what you call hypersexualized?
Well, a couple years after her behavior became this way, she was getting into trouble, and she finally broke down and told us that she was sexually assaulted.
And you did what?
We called the police. The police came and did a report. We took her to a therapist, but it wasn't really helping.
So Becky told you it wasn't working?
She just wasn't responsive. You know, well, I see no problem with my behavior. You know, you guys are just overreacting to my behavior.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Understand me.
We're the problem, not her.
But as you say that out loud...
I know, it sounds ridiculous.
You know why it sounds ridiculous? Because it is ridiculous.
Yes.
You have a child making adult decisions here. You have a child that has been traumatized, and you're going to let her decide whether she needs to be helped with it or not. You understand the reason people get in these virtual long-distance relationships, the reason women get in relationships with prisoners on death row or in prison for a lifetime is because they're safe. They don't have to engage because they don't feel adequate enough to do that. And so she's been doing this because she didn't have to go to the dance every day. She didn't have to be an active participant in a day-to-day relationship. But now she's going to have to make that jump.
Right, and she's like all in. Like, it doesn't matter what we say, what we do. She's like, I'm out of here. I got my bags packed.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think she's running towards him or away from you?
I think she's sort of running away from us.
Like, we should have known. We should have protected her, and we didn't, and we feel bad.
We've tried to express to her what a healthy relationship was, and we've had lots of conversations about that, and that's what we want to see for her, but that just never gets through.
It doesn't sink in.
And that this isn't a healthy relationship, and look, here are all the signs. We can lay it out, but it means nothing.
Well, let's meet her. Let's bring Becky out. Hi. How are you?
Good.
I'll bet you are thrilled to be here. Yeah, I understand.
She's here. She knows she needs help.
You say that you're an e-girl. You call yourself an e-girl.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you in your terms?
I used to send a lot of naked pictures to guys online.
And the feedback was, I mean, what was your currency? What'd you get out of that?
Attention.
Have you ever wonder what's wrong with him? He's settled for somebody that he's never even met.
Because he loves me.
But he hasn't met you.
Becky's online boyfriend totally controls her. She would have to ask permission to get up and get a snack or use the restroom.
I'll tell him that I'm gonna go hang out with one of my guy friends. He says that I'm not allowed to. He also doesn't want me to play online games because he's worried that I'll talk to other guys.
Many times she has been crying because he didn't want her to go to a school dance. Then she turns it around and says, well, I really didn't want to go.
If we mention the boyfriend, Becky clams up and gets tears in her eyes. He's stolen her teenage years away from her.
Well, both Cheryl and Danny say their daughter Becky's online boyfriend has shown zero respect for her. They're afraid that she'll move away with someone that will control her and abuse her. Do you understand what I mean when I say personal standards?
Yeah.
Like, you strike me as somebody that is very well groomed. I suspect you probably shower every day and clean up. I mean, you probably...
Every other day.
Well, I know, but I mean, you take pretty good care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I suspect that you have things that you like, fashion-wise, clothes-wise, hairstyle-wise, things like that, right?
Yeah.
And so there are things that you consider to be desirable, things that you prefer, right? And then there would be things that you would go, no, that's just, I don't like that. That's beneath me. That's not my style, not my fit or whatever, that you would exclude. Just say, nah, I'm not going there. Right?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you think guys are the same way?
Yeah.
That guys are, there's certain things guys would do, certain things guys wouldn't do? What do you think, and now I haven't met this guy that you're in a relationship with, so I don't judge him. I really don't. I'm the least judgmental person I've ever met. He may be the nicest guy ever. I really don't know. You may have just hit the internet lottery and found somebody that's really nice. I don't know. That's a possibility, it is right. But has it ever occurred to you that, ask yourself why somebody that's like 4 years older than you is having to get in a relationship with somebody they've never met all the way across the country when there's all these girls around them and he can't form a relationship with any of them, so he has to go long distance to somebody he's never met? Have you ever wonder what's wrong with him?
Weird.
You have to have asked yourself, why is he going all the way across the country to somebody he's never even met to have a relationship?
I mean, we met through a mutual friend, and that's how we met, and we just hit it off from the start.
A guy would prefer to be able to go pick his girlfriend up and go on a date, go to dinner, go to a movie, stuff like that, but he's settled for somebody that he's never even met.
Well, yeah, we'd love to be able to be together in person, but, I mean, we just happened to meet online.
Right. I'm just asking you, have you asked yourself why he would be willing to settle for that?
Because he loves me. I'm the one that he wants to be with.
But he hasn't met you. You haven't met him. He may look okay on Polycom or something, or FaceTime, but then you might meet him and he smells like fish or something. You don't know. Really, you don't know, right?
No, I don't know what he smells like.
There's a lot you don't know about him, right? You'll learn pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you may decide, oh, now I get it. Now I get why he had to be involved with somebody that he had never met all the way across the country. You have to, you're open-minded about that, right?
Yeah, I'm open-minded.
Because you could be...
If things don't work out, then, you know, we'll work things out.
Mm-hmm. Well, Becky admits her online boyfriend controls what she can and can't do. Well, I'm going to ask him about that because we did track him down and he's agreed to talk to me. Next.
When my parents take away my phone, I come to my room and I use my online media player. I basically just hide out in here and talk to my boyfriend. When I plug it into the HDMI, it brings up my chats on Discord. I don't need a phone, I don't need a computer, it's all right here on my TV. When I'm in my parents' room using their computer, they usually think that I'm watching YouTube. When I lock the door, I'm able to talk to my boyfriend. Every time they catch me using different devices, I usually just find a new way to talk to my boyfriend. At this point, I'll just keep on finding new ways.
I wanted to just have kind of a one-on-one, man-to-man conversation with Becky's online boyfriend, and he agreed to do that, which I give him great credit for. Are you there on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Thank you so much for agreeing to chat with me.
Of course.
So tell me, you're serious in your relationship here, correct?
Yes, of course.
Have you been in relationships before?
Relationships, yes. Past relationships haven't worked out, obviously. With Becky here, it's been a lot more serious, and it just feels like a whole new connection from things that I've experienced before.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, do you find it odd that you have this strong of a feelings for someone that you've never physically met?
I do. I do think it's different, but it's hard to say because nowadays you see, you know, a lot of people are starting to find connections online, and you know, a good portion of them are starting to work out. So I think it's different, yes, but I wouldn't say it's abnormal.
You two have been in a relationship for how long?
20 months.
Okay, and in that time, why in 20 months have you not come to see her?
I've had numerous issues with her parents not accepting me from the start, from them having an issue with my age to accusing me of things. So, I mean, at one point I have been threatened that if I showed up, they would hit me. So.
Well, have you thought about coming and just meeting her father in a public place and introducing yourself?
I have offered to video chat with them, talk with them, do whatever I could to really get to, you know, they would be able to see me. I've offered for them to meet my family. I actually used to take care of my grandmother, who recently passed away, and even she wanted to meet them because she felt like they had a very poor judgment of who I was. In trying to do that, I've been told that they don't want to get to know me and they'll never try to get to know me.
Well, and
we have reason for that.
Okay, by the way, I know your grandmother just passed, and I'm very sorry for your loss. I know you were very close with her, and I'm very sorry for your loss. Now, you've done some aggressive things with them. You hacked into their Verizon account when they turned off her phone, correct?
She knew the secret questions, so all we did was that, and it let us in the account.
But you went into...
You got into the account,
yes,
that's the
it was
point.
childish, and it was wrong. And I did apologize for that.
Why do you not have a relationship with someone in your own town, your own neighborhood? Why are you dating someone long distance, underage, instead of someone that's a peer in your own community?
When I first met her, I felt like we could relate on a level that it just felt like I could really talk to her about anything, whether it be, you know, online jokes or be something serious. I mean, we've been able to have serious conversations that I don't feel like I've met a lot of people locally that I've been able to. It's just a connection that I found with her has been unique.
Do you not feel adequate with women your own age?
Not at all. I've dated, I mean, up until I met her, most of the girls that I've been with and or talked to and have been with, which I've ended up ending most of my relationships, have been my age or within a year gap.
Why has his mother told us this is his first relationship?
If you knew that this was going to fracture the relationship between her and her parents, what would your feeling about that be?
So I really don't want it to fracture their relationship. Again,
Then why do you tell her to defy every rule that we've made?
You literally have said that. We've
Don't
got it
go on
in text writing.
Don't go on vacation with your family. You know, just don't do, they're just trying to control you.
You don't need to follow their rules.
have I made mistakes along the way? Yes.
So you're acknowledging that some of the things you've said have been inappropriate, and you acknowledge that was a bad choice?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. If Danny agreed that he wasn't going to punch you out,
I told him I'd smash his face in.
yeah, I understand. But if you agreed that that's not what you're going to do, how would you feel about doing the right thing and coming here and meeting Becky and her family in a public place where everything is open, above board, and safe, and sitting down and having a conversation where you got to spend some time with him one-on-one? You got to meet him, and you guys at least got some of the unknowns out of the way so you could meet him. How would you feel about that?
I'm completely open to that, Dr. Phil. I really appreciate that, actually.
I will buy you a round-trip ticket to come here and sit down with her and her family, where you have the opportunity to meet him and spend some time with him and meet the parents and see what's going on. Is that something you would agree to, Danny, Cheryl?
I'm a little hesitant on it, but if that would help my daughter Becky in our relationship and help her to not jump into something that I'm afraid of, then I guess yes.
Well, I do recommend that. We have to take a break. Coming up, how can parents who thought they were doing everything so right end up in a place they really don't want to be? I'm going to tell Cheryl and Danny what I think about that next, and I'm going to say goodbye to the gentleman on the phone for right now. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I'm 83 years old.
She's having sex with an average of 3 different partners a week.
You decide what you love. I love sex.
You like younger guys. Well, I'm too old for you, right?
That's tomorrow.
My parents have made these discipline contracts with me, making me sign them, saying that I won't try to talk to my boyfriend. I've signed 2 or 3 of them, but the only reason I signed them is because they won't leave me alone until I do.
We wrote these contracts to limit your time you were able to spend on the computer and on the phone. You broke those contracts in no time at all. You thought they were ridiculous and unwarranted.
I thought they were stupid.
A contract with Becky is absolutely pointless.
I want to introduce somebody to this conversation. Joining us now is Donna Tatro, a parenting expert who says that technology should not be a right for teens, but a privilege, and parents must set the bar for their children. Donna, you've been listening to all of this. You and I know each other. We've worked together before. And I think we're very like-minded about this, but you have some specific thoughts about this particular situation. As you're listening to this, what's jumping out at you?
When she was a little girl, you wouldn't let her, as a toddler, go out to a swimming pool by herself for fear that she would drown. So you have to get in the water with her at that point and help her learn how to be in the water and respect the water, just like you do with technology. And at that time, too, I'm sure that you got her swimming lessons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's that time with tech, too, that you have to start educating age appropriately, time limits, what's appropriate. You're bringing in the value system into your family. And then, of course, I'm sure you put a fence around that pool. Those are the parental controls. But we know kids get around the fences and they drown. So that might be one way to get, you know, her off, but it's really the education and overall the oversight. When she turned 10, 11, 12, 13, I'm sure she still wasn't swimming on her own, that she could swim on her own, but you had to be there to watch her. Right. So it's really thinking about it from an education perspective, and then really the oversight has to be there. It just has to be there.
So how much privacy do you think kids should have with their internet access as they're growing up, 10, 11, 12, 13?
Zero. None.
Yeah, we tried. We tried a year ago to set boundaries and limits, and one of the contracts, you know, it's like, give us all your passwords. And she just scribbled that out. You know, it's just...
And you allowed that.
Right.
You made a contract, which you advocate, Donna, correct?
I do.
But she dictated the terms of the contract. Yep. They said, we need your passwords. She crossed that out. That's not going to be a deal of this contract. You don't get to monitor me. You don't get to pay attention to what I do. You don't get access to me. Zip, 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 zip. The tail is wagging the dog, and then you're complaining about the results. You can't have it both ways.
Yep, we're chasing it.
And you have to talk to her with compassion. You need to speak to her and try to understand where she's coming from. How can I help you? I want to protect you. I love you. You're my baby. I'll do anything to protect you. Because it's us against the predators, online bullying, and all these people who want to disrupt her life.
How did you get here, and what do you do now? I'm going to answer both of those right after the break. I am so frustrated right now, I feel like slapping myself. This situation has occurred that just didn't have to happen. You didn't have to be here. You have a beautiful daughter here. She's intelligent. She's obviously a beautiful young woman. She's healthy. She's got so much going for her. She was diagnosed ADHD in the 2nd grade. In my opinion, that's absurd. Okay?
That's how I feel. That's how
absurd. No. You can disagree with me later. But it's very rare that second grade girls are ADHD. It's rare as hen's teeth, okay? So the chance that that was an accurate diagnosis is just about 0, okay? So when you give a cortical stimulant to a child that doesn't need it, you overspeed their brain and you create anxiety. And she's lived with anxiety her whole life, in my opinion. Yeah. And then she was traumatized early on. And you know what you did? You did what you knew how to do, right? You called the police, you took her to a therapist, you did what you knew how to do, but it wasn't enough. It leaves an open wound and it causes a child to define themselves with physicality. And so they limit their self-esteem, their self-image, their self-worth to that one-dimensional aspect. And so that wound was left open, and so what we see from a very young age is she starts displaying exactly that behavior. She becomes an e-girl on the internet and starts putting out physical expressions of her image. This is what I have to offer. And it allowed her to avoid intimacy, but yet get attention. And sure enough, she winds up in a relationship where she really avoids intimacy, but gets attention. And that means what happened has never been healed. And what I ask you is to be smart enough to know that some things happened to you early on that changed who you are. And you deserve for that to be fixed. You deserve for that to be attended to. If this relationship is real, if this relationship is lasting, then it will be there in 90 days. Give me 90 days to bring you very specialized help for trauma. And if at the end of that, this still looks like a good idea to you, then you'll be of age and you can do what you want to do. Will you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay? And let me tell you what I want you to do. There's a place just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and it's called Onsite. They are the worldwide leader in intensive workshops for trauma victims. And I think you will be shocked at how different the world looks to you in a very short period of time. Okay? And it's a very independent thing to do, because I'm not going to send your mama with you. I'm just going to send you there on your own. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough? All right. Okay.
And that's all I wanted.
I want to thank my guest today. A special thanks to parenting expert Donna Tatro. And thank you so much for helping out. And a special thanks to Miles Adcox and Onsite for offering to help Becky. Unlike our teen, I like to keep my Instagram clean. So you can definitely follow me. Here's what some viewers said about one of my Instagram posts. Comments. Felix said, yes, Dr. Phil, congrats. You're such a good pilot. Hannah said, just when I thought you couldn't get any cooler, you fly a plane. We love you, Dr. Phil. Debbie added, didn't know you were a pilot, jack of all trades. Yeah, well, you haven't gotten in with me. Actually, I'm Phil of all trades. As you know, I do have a podcast, but did you know that my wife, Robin, just launched her brand new podcast called I've Got a Secret.
So excited.
But she says it much better than I do. How do you say it?
I've got a secret.
Because there's no secret at all. I think we actually have a clip. Can we play this?
Oh. Hello, ladies. I'm Robin McGraw. You will not believe how much fun I have planned for us. My new podcast, I've Got a Secret, is about real life, real issues we all deal with every day. As women, we have the opportunity to teach each other the secrets we've learned from our mothers, grandmothers, friends, or have learned all by ourselves. I want us to tell and hear the secrets that will make our lives better. Go to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app and search for I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.
I'm so excited.
We're going to have a ball.
I think that if you are designating something as a girls' night, right? And let me tell you something. We've had some great men that are invited to girls' night. Let me be clear.
Our best friends are couples, but I do think that once the husbands start showing up, it becomes a couples night.
My friends have great significant others in their lives. There's not really one I can think of that I'm like, oh, what a bummer that he's coming or she's coming. Yeah. Well, maybe I could think of like one. I don't know, but...
I honestly don't think any of my girlfriends would want me showing up with Philip.
I doubt that. I mean, who doesn't want some therapy from your husband? Let's be honest. I think every girls' night could use him, to be honest.
Yeah. I didn't get to finish my sentence there. I said, a lot of my girlfriends think that when you're in the room, you're analyzing them. And I would have said, no, never, never, never. He's so much fun.
Yeah. I am analyzing all the time. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for being here.
didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it